You can tell me your sales first and talk about MySlabs and other things, or you can go with your recent purchases and we can break those down, and then I'll do mine. But I'll let you kind of kick this off with what you've got going on here.
Yeah, I've been approved as a seller on MySlabs, and I mean it was quite the process there because I think they're very efficient at looking at who's selling there and making sure that there's integrity on the platform. And I love buying from this platform. I like just looking at what people have listed there. You have pretty cheap cards. You also have people that have very impressive collections, like tons of 5-figure cards in there and some 6 figures as well. So it's very impressive, and I think it's good for a buyer and it's good for a seller. Like the negotiation process is amazing. And I was just approved as a seller, and I started listing yesterday my cards and started getting offers just as I was listing them. So I ended up I actually, since the last episode that we recorded together, I bought a James Wiseman rookie auto, and I just flipped it a week after on this platform. I mean, it took me about 15 minutes getting it sold, and got asking price on it. And I still think when I list cards, I don't usually list them a lot above comps. I believe in fair prices also. So I mean, sometimes it depends on the cards, but this was the case. So I think that the buyer got a lot of potential there. A very, very good condition card as well, so he can grade it and still flip it as well on his side. So that was one of my sales. A lot of sales from F1, also the 2020 Topps Chrome F1. And my pickups were, let me think, there's so so many
Yes.
pickups that we get and sale and all that stuff. But I got a George Russell portrait refractor from the 2020 Topps Chrome. I got it from a guy in the Boston area, Sean Moore. Great transaction, got it there. And also yesterday afternoon, I think we how can I say that? We underestimate the power of a relationship when we do great transactions together, and people, you end up still talking about. It's not when you do a sale or when you buy something, when you get a great transaction, you'll probably agree with me. It's sometimes worth it just to speak with these guys again. Hey, what are you buying? What's up? How's it been going? And vouch for these people. And this guy wrote me also on Instagram, and he said, "Hey, are you still buying Garland?" I'm like, "Well, always. This guy's amazing. He's been doing great actually since the All-Star break. While he played in the All-Star, so it wasn't a break for him." And I picked up. He got this on the Panini on the Horizon rookie PSA 9, and he offered it to me. I didn't at all. I didn't think I was going to pick that up. It wasn't in my budget, but I still picked it up because I think the occasion was really, really good. I tried to deal it a little, but sometimes, it's not always about the price you're paying, but also on the long run, how's it going to look? And I think these short on the horizon cards, just like the downtowns and the kabooms, and they're going to be worth a lot of money in the long run. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, good overview there. I'm gonna backtrack and ask you a few questions about these because I think it's always valuable for the audience to learn from what we're all doing. And I echo your thoughts about the camaraderie and relationships that you build. It's fun. It's more human when you can interact with people and build relationships. And I think you do get opportunities like the Garland opportunity that come your way when you actually build those relationships. I also like I like the point you made about listing cards, not too more than recent comps, or even sometimes right around or even less than recent comps. I think that's great, and that's something that I've learned. I think there's a lot of my cards. I'll just say it right now. There's a lot of my cards on my website, and And even on MySlabs and eBay, if I list something for a buy it now, it's way overpriced for the buy it now price, but like basically by design. And that's for a couple different reasons. One is because of how I operate personally with my time. I just kind of err on the side of, I think this card's going to go up in value. So if I'm going to sell it now, I want to make sure I don't get screwed over. But I also want to list the card because it'll be less work for me later to go back and try to dig up the card, dig up the photo of the card and relist it rather than just adjust the price. But you're right. I think that can come across. Like I do sort of wonder sometimes, should I go back and like maybe take these down if they're overpriced, just because it can sort of affect your reputation. So I think that's something to think about. I'm not going to overthink it, but I do think it's something to think about and adjustment I might make. But I want to go back.
There are different
strategies.
There are different strategies. One of my friends is doing that. I mean, he has all 4, 5, 6-figure cards, and he lists them at the price he wants and accept offers and see what's coming. And I think when you're busy, you don't want to be always, taking your listing downs and adjusting them and all that stuff. But it's also a responsibility, I think, on the buyer side. I mean, on MySlabs, I listed my Dusan Vlahovic rookie sticker, SGC 9.5. It's a $450, $500 card, and I got an offer at $150. It was like, are you kidding me? Even if you're, starting a negotiation, when you go at like 25%, 30%, I don't even want to negotiate with you, man. It's just, I think some of these offers can be disrespectful, and you should at least start a negotiation at 50% or something. And if the seller wants to sell at this price, just like you picked up your Garland auto, if he wants to sell, I mean, great. It's a successful transaction, but starting at, below 33% of the asking price, sometimes I don't know if I'm taking things personal there, but I mean, I would never do that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, actually, this is so I want to go back and ask you about how much you sold the Wiseman for, and then how much you bought the Russell and the Garland for. But before we do that, let's talk about the difference between MySlabs and eBay a little bit, or the difference. Yeah, let's just say, what's the difference between MySlabs and eBay? And here's my take on it, because I have been an approved. So I basically got my eBay account up and running as a sports card seller like less than a year ago. So July 2021 was when I got that up and running. And then shortly thereafter, applied to be a seller on MySlabs, and then they accepted me. It was probably in the fall, maybe like September or October of 2021. So I had a similar experience to you, where the first few cards I listed, I got offers on, and it's a very encouraging experience. And the offers are definitely more legit. Not that I don't get legit offers on eBay, but let me just kind of tell you what happens to me on eBay. Let me know if this happens to you. If I list a card for auction on eBay without the buy it now option, so I have offers on, but it's an auction, the offers I get for that auction are always like ridiculously low. It's like they're lower than the starting bid, which that never makes any sense to me. Like if my starting bid is $9.99, I've got people, or a better example is like, let's say the last comp on a card is like $50, and I list the card for an opening bid of $14.99. I'll get offers for like $7.99. And I'm just kind of like, why? Like, what's the point of that? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you just, if the card is a $50 card, and the opening bid's $14.99, why wouldn't you just place a bid instead of an offer for like $8? So that happens a lot on eBay. What I like about MySlabs is that, and I do get lowball offers for buy it now cards a lot on eBay. On MySlabs, I tend to get, even when what I typically do is, let's say the last comp on a card is like $100. I'll typically list it for maybe like 125. But if I only paid, 65 for it, I might have the lowest possible offer be like $75. I'm not going to profit that much, but it's still more than what I paid for it.
Yeah.
And so, but what I find on MySlabs is that instead of getting an offer for $75, I'll get an offer for like 95, which is like, it's just, it's more calibrated. And I think it's because it's a more curated audience on MySlabs. And I like what they've done. They've basically taken um, a niche market like sports cards, and they've niched it down even further. They've minimized it down to only a certain amount of people, but it's almost like they've curated the right people who will buy and sell, and also be fair with the pricing. And then they don't charge as much of a fee. And we're not we're obviously not getting paid by MySlab, so we're just talking about our experience here. And I do have I have a hypothesis though. I think maybe, and I could be wrong. Audience, leave comments about this if on your experience. But when I think this is a tactic. I think like if you haven't gotten traction on a card in a while, say on Facebook or on eBay or whatever, I think you should put them up as a new listing on MySlabs. Even if you haven't gotten traction on MySlabs for a while, I think you should take the same card, put it up as a new listing, because I think what they do is whatever the new listings are, the newest listings, I think they put them up at the top of the site, regardless of what they are. And I could be wrong, but I think that that's maybe why you and I have had a similar experience where it's like, which I like that, because I think it incentivizes new people to get on the platform and sell. It's like you put a new listing up, we're gonna highlight it for you.
Of
Whereas
course.
eBay doesn't necessarily do that.
No, eBay doesn't do that. And eBay, I mean, there's so many pair of eyes that run on the website and this platform. But I mean, the fees, and I feel like you sell a card, and then the fees, the taxes, and then the shipping costs and all that stuff. So you end up getting even less than what you calculated you would get. And on MySlabs, it's super easy. It's connected to your PayPal account. I mean, you have the partner
You get paid
fees
right away.
Yeah, you get paid right away. It's done. It's super transparent. You have to ship right away as well, which you want to do if you want to get great reviews. So that's it, man. Just love the platform. It's if you're listening and you're looking for a great place to buy, I mean, great cards, and and the selling process is pretty transparent, which I've heard a lot of things about auctions, about bots on eBay, about a lot of stuff, which I don't trust. And as a buyer, I tend to look. I know you told me early in our friendship. I'll say it this way. I know you told me buying off of eBay helps me. In the sports card world, as a seller, as a buyer, as a collector, investor, whatever. But I tend to, yes, want to know eBay a little more. But at the same time, when I see a card listed on eBay, I'd rather buy it from someone I can have a conversation with off eBay, on Facebook groups, on Instagram, on Discord, whatever. And also give more money to, and I said all of these platforms, and I didn't even say MySlabs, but whatever, that I know that the money goes straight up to the seller, and also get a few bucks off, and less fees. So that's just my take.
That's really good perspective. And I think like one more thing I'll add to this is because you're right. I did say, hey, I think what I meant was, I think this is around the context of, if you buy off of eBay in an auction, you're essentially you're going to get that card for the fair market. Like if as a buyer, if you buy a card off of eBay, you're in theory going to get the fair market value for that card, because you've got other people bidding against you. And a lot of time, in my experience, in dealing with people on Facebook, I've overpaid a lot. And in hindsight, that was my fault. Like it was just my fault for overpaying for a card. Like anytime you overpay for a card, it's like, it's the buyer's fault, because there's always research that can be done. and there's negotiations that can be done. And then ultimately, like if you have a price for a card as a buyer and the seller's price is too high for you, like you need to move on to other things because there's just so many other cards out there. So
Yeah.
I think that unless you really, really want a card as a collector, I think as an investor, or as an investor, like if you're confident that you're going to make up the ground that you overpaid for that card as an investment, then of course that qualifies that, go ahead and do it. But where I was coming from and advising you was kind of more from a place of like, okay, I've made a ton of mistakes over the last like 18 months.
Same.
And yeah. And one of the biggest mistakes I made over and over again was just kind of like blindly accepting the price that the seller was giving me in those, let's call it like more not literally face-to-face transactions, but the off eBay transactions, the ones where you can actually interact with the person via social media. And so I'm kind of kicking myself and like, and that's where I think that's where I was coming from is like, if in theory, if you bid on eBay, you are going to get the fair market value for that card. People will say, well, there's bots and there's shill bidding. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. But yeah, I think that overall, this conversation hopefully is just helping kind of educate everybody about just how to do their due diligence when purchasing cards. And thanks everybody for your questions. sportscardstrategy.com. I'm Paul Hickey with nooffseason.com. Thank you for watching and listening to the Sports Card Strategy Show with my man co-host Greg Lanctot. Greg, great having you here today. We were brought to you by Market Movers app. MarketMoversApp.com by Sports Card Investor. Go there. Use the promo code NOOFFSEASON, all lowercase, to save 20%. And we will see you back here soon. Everybody, thanks and have a great day.